Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. That's been in. 1.4 to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Fresh week here on Duck Insider. Welcome inside the Country Financial Studios. I'm Jordan Brenner. Thanks for being here with us. You know, what a weekend it was. If you're a sports fan, it was one of those weekends here in Eugene where I was constantly battling against the urge to go outside because there was so much to watch on TV. I had the iPad set up, TV 1 and 2, the phone stream, computer stream. It was just tremendous. How about the Women's Final Four, for example? One of the more exciting events that I can remember. Congratulations to Angel Reese and LSU for getting the job done. Of course, Scott Phillips doing the controversial. I don't know why it's controversial. I thought it was pretty awesome, honestly. But, yeah, congratulations to LSU. And, yeah, just really fun stuff. Final Four was going on as well. And at the same time, the thing that I'm most fired up about, Oregon baseball is white hot right now after a series sweep in Tucson against Arizona. The first ever Oregon baseball sweep at Arizona. We're going to go through that. We have Oregon softball to hit on and a full recap going on across the Oregon athletic department. But we have to start with Oregon baseball because this is one of the hottest teams in the country right now, up to a 9-game winning streak. And now you're entering a week this week where you try and plant your flag across the state of Oregon. This is a week that means a whole lot to Mark Wasikowski in Oregon baseball. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Portland will be in town for a midweek game. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the biggest series of the year. It always is for me against Oregon State. You want people to pay attention to you, you go ahead and sweep the Beavers at PK Park. The Ducks entering this week, playing fantastic. Let's go through this series sweep. I want to start on Friday, which was yet another blowout win for Oregon baseball. 15-3, and it was offense, and it was offense early against one of the best pitchers in the Pac-12 in TJ Nichols. Back in December, this is a guy who, well, many thought was a first-round pick. Probably has seen his draft stock slide, and Oregon's been a part of that. The Ducks jumped out to an early 8-0 lead against TJ Nichols and controlled it the entire way through. Early on in this game, I think this is an important play, especially as we are going to go through the entire series. You can see how easy it is for a lead to evaporate quickly. Oregon's up early in this game, and it stayed that way because of one of the best defensive plays you're ever going to see. And I want to show it to you here. Drew Cali, he's been knocked for his defense a whole lot. He's clearly a great offensive player, but this might be the best defensive play he's made at Oregon.
Pitch here is ground ball up the middle, knocked down by the shortstop. Cowley tosses to second for one.
And then return to first for a double play. Just an amazing play by Drew Cali. And he goes on a full extension dive, if you're just listening, flips it from his knees to Grant, who catches it with a bare hand and turns the double play. Altogether, 15-3, your final score in this game. The Ducks with 22 hits in that game. At that point, they'd scored double-digit runs in 6 of their last 7 games. That's not normal. Like maybe you do that before conference play, but to go ahead and do that against Arizona and to do it again against their ace, I think sent a real message. Jacob Walsh in this game hit 2 home runs. I think the player of the game for me was Jace Stoffel, who went 7 solid innings and set the bullpen up for success the rest of the weekend. He had this to say after that 7-inning performance.
All right, talk about the outing, the tough place to pitch, and you had it going all night.
Yeah, I felt good. I had a couple pitches working for strikes. That always helps. The offense and the defense is ridiculous. I think 23 hits, 15 runs, I think is what it was. Like, that is crazy on a Friday night. That's just unbelievable. It makes you pitch a lot better. It makes it easier. And then the defense, Cowley and Gray up the middle on that play was just ridiculous, Sports Center type play. And, I just tried to throw strikes and let my team play behind me, and they were fantastic all night, so it was awesome.
Yeah, when you go up 8-0 after a couple innings, that is the mentality you should take on as a pitcher. Just throw strikes and trust your defense. Jace Stoffel, 96 pitches, was really efficient, only gave up 2 earned runs against an Arizona lineup that is, A, very good, and B, against an Arizona lineup that was playing in one of the most offensive ballparks in the country. Jace Stoffel, when he was done, handed the ball to a fellow transfer from Umpqua Community College in Austin Anderson. And boy, I think it's pretty cool to see 2 Oregonians, 2 Roseburg natives combined to shut down one of the best offenses in the Pac-12. Anderson, again, kind of mop-up duty because the game is over. But he was electric. 2 innings, no runs, struck out 4, all Ducks on Friday night. 15-3 to win their 7th straight game. Really impressive. And then it looked like Arizona was going to tie the series on Saturday. I did not turn the game off, but it was relegated from the TV to the iPhone when it was 10-0. And as the comeback, as the Ducks were chipping away, it went from phone to iPad, and ultimately late in the late innings came back to the main TV setup. 13-11 win, but that doesn't do it justice because the Ducks got down by 10 after 2 innings. Now, Logan Mercado wasn't his best. He gave up 9 hits. But I think Oregon's defense would tell you, well, we got to back up our pitcher a little bit more. There were some errors, some miscues. The Ducks handed the ball to Matthew Grabman after Logan Mercado, and I think Matthew Grabman had a really underrated outing on Saturday, and he goes 3 1/3 scoreless to bridge the game from the early innings to the middle innings and really settle what was a fire early on. He put out that fire, and he had this to say after that performance.
Came in a big situation where you knew that you just couldn't give up anything. Just talk to me about your mindset and just take me through your outing.
No, I think really just attacking hitters. I mean, the defense behind me is great. Mercado pitched really well, especially in the situation he was in, a couple tough bounces. But when I came in, it was just about really throwing strikes and just staying right down the middle.
Yeah, and he hasn't done that all year, right? For a freshman, his stuff has been electric pretty much every time he's been out there. But he's hit a lot of players. He's walked a lot of hitters as well. And he threw a lot of strikes this time. One of his better performances in college. He had great command of the fastball, which Jake Angier says really plays at this level. It's a heavy, sinking fastball. An underrated outing by Matthew Grabman, because if he starts giving up runs and Arizona continues to score, I don't think the comeback happens. You can only dig yourself so big a hole. So with Matthew Grabman on the hill, the Ducks start to chip away. 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. It's the 6th inning. The Ducks score 2 more, and now it's 11-5 entering the 7th inning. And at this point, I think Mark Wasikowski made a great decision. He had seen how hard Owen Diodati had been working, and sometimes the coach just has the right instinct and plays the right card in a situation. In the 7th inning, the Ducks pinch hit Owen Diodati, who had not recorded a hit since the UCLA series. He had been 0 for his last 12. And in the 7th inning off the bench, Owen Diodati picks up the first RBI hit of a 5-run 7th inning. And all of a sudden, the Ducks are right back in this thing. 11-10, and in the 9th inning, all that momentum going on in the dugout, the Ducks, they finally break through. This is what the 9th inning looked like and sounded like, an epic comeback for the Ducks.
One out here in the 9th. The pitch, and that's driven to left for a base hit. Nishida is going to round third. This game is going to be tied. Ball almost to the gap. Into second with an RBI double is Colby Shade. We are tied at 11. The 2-1 to the plate. That's driven to left field. That's a base hit. In to score is Shade. Oregon takes the lead. Around third will come Cowley. He will score.
Can you hear that excitement in a road ballpark? That is the dugout for Oregon, and the fans for the Ducks on the road. Ducks travel pretty well, but still, invading a road yard like that, and the emotion was great to see. In the 9th inning, Riku Nishida started off the rally with a 1-out double. That was his 5th hit of the game. Colby Shade, the next hitter, doubled him home to tie it, and then ultimately Sabine Ceballos completed the remarkable comeback with a 2 RBI hit to make it 13-11. So that was double-digit runs for the Ducks in 7 of the last 8 games, which, again, you're not supposed to do that. And altogether, the 10-run comeback was the largest lead Oregon has ever overcome in the modern era. We don't know for a fact that it's the largest in program history, but it bested the modern era record that was set last year against Washington State. 21 more hits for the Ducks, and they win game 2. They win the series 13-11. Riku Nishida goes 5 for 6. His 5 hits were a career high, and 7 Ducks in the game had multiple hits. This is pretty great. So Todd Miles goes down after every single Oregon win on the road, and he gets a little sound clip from the players. In this one, Colby Shade and Riku Nishida give you their thoughts.
Down 10-0, come all the way back, but really the 9th inning was the key. Talk about that, guys.
自分が出塁すれば、必ずコビーシェードが、返してくれると思ってたんで、とりあえずいい当たりを打ってとりあえず出塁することだけ考えていったらうまいこと言ったんでよかったです。
He said that he got up there and he just scolded the ball, got down in the count, barreled somebody up, and then gave me the opportunity to get up there and then hit him in. He was at second, ran all the way around, slid into home. A lot of excitement. He almost cried, he said. And then Drew coming up with a single and Saba coming up with the big hit at the end to put him away. And then Josh coming in to shut the door. It was just a great team win.
Yeah, it really was. An epic comeback, a historic comeback. At that point, you're feeling pretty good about things. You get a series win on the road. I wouldn't have blamed the team for packing their bags and saying, okay, that's a job well done, let's move on. But on Sunday, the Ducks come back to the yard and win another one. Jacob Walsh hit his 3rd home run of the series. By the way, Pac-12 weekly awards coming out at any minute now. It wouldn't surprise me if Jacob Walsh, wins Pac-12 Player of the Week. It was that kind of weekend. That set the tone for the Ducks in this game. His 3rd home run of the series was an absolute no-doubter, a moonshot from Jacob Walsh on Sunday.
Oregon player has had the best weekend, but Walsh has had a great one. He hits the first pitch deep to right field. Back on that one to the wall is Summerhill, and that's out of here. 3rd home run of the series for Walsh, and like I said, it's hard to say which Oregon player has had a better weekend offensively, but Walsh certainly going to qualify.
There you hear from Brian Jeffries, the voice of Arizona baseball. A lot of Ducks could win Pac-12 Player of the Week. For me, I think Jacob Walsh, the power, really impressive. He now has 8 home runs for the season. That leads the Ducks. Drew Cali hit 2 home runs in this game, both to dead center. When he's going right down the middle of the field, you know he's locked in. He hit 2 two-run shots and knocked in an insurance run with a double in the 9th. And the Ducks swept the Wildcats in Tucson for the first time in history, an 8-5 win. And the Ducks have now swept Arizona for 2 straight years. That's quite the streak that the Ducks are on against the Wildcats in regular season play. Now, Arizona beat them in the Pac-12 tournament last year, but that's 2 straight Pac-12 series sweeps against Arizona. And when you do that, you get a very happy Mark Wasikowski.
Great weekend. Not easy to come here and sweep, and you got it done. Never happened before in Oregon history.
Wow, didn't know that. That's really cool. You know, the guys just played really hard. You know, we did enough on the mound, we did enough with the bats, and did enough on the defensive end to pull it together today and sweep a tough Arizona team. You know, they've got really good players, and they're in a really offensive place. And to come out of here with 2 out of 3 is hard enough. To sweep a team like this is fantastic. And now we look on to next week and hopefully have another great week this coming week. So excited about the ball club. They just played their tails off. Drew Cali all the way down that order, just tremendous. And Josh Malaris closing that thing out. The pitching and the hitting efforts. I mean, the kids just really battled and grinded, and just proud of the kids, proud of the coaches for getting these guys prepared. And, you know, just it's fun to be a part of the ride.
There's Mark Wasikowski, a happy head coach after the series sweep. Okay, some series stats for you all together, because individually every game is remarkable, and I think in baseball it's the type of thing you don't want to get too high or low after any given game. But now that the series is over, I think fair to celebrate what the Ducks did. As an offense, Oregon hit .420 and outscored the Wildcats 36-19. Oregon out-hit Arizona 55-32. 55 hits over 3 games. Disgusting. Riku Nishida hit .643. Jacob Walsh hit .533 with 3 home runs. Drew Cali hit .438 with 2 home runs, a triple, and 9 runs batted in. Gavin Grant hit .429. Colby Shade hit .417. Tanner Smith hit .400. Sabine Ceballos hit .375 and drove in only 7. Only 7 for Sabine Ceballos. He could take it up a notch. Just amazing stuff from Oregon baseball. It's a 9-game winning streak heading into a crucial stretch of the season. It's only going to get harder from here, and it starts by proving you're the best team in the state of Oregon this week with Portland at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Great excuse to get away from the office midweek. That'll be a fun game. Portland's pretty good. Now, they can beat some Pac-12 teams. That's probably one of the better mid-major baseball teams in the country. And then 3 games against the Beavers on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are always some of the most fun games of the year. Great stuff for the Ducks. Hopefully, next Monday, we're talking about a 13-game winning streak for Oregon baseball. Really good stuff from the Ducks. I wanted to get a break. We'll come back, recap Oregon softball, and a whole lot of other programs across the Oregon Athletic Department who were in action this past weekend. Keep it here. Coming back to the Country Financial Studio after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider is brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. With Oregon baseball traveling, I don't know if they're in the air or on the ground. Joey Mack out today. Will be back for the show tomorrow and for the rest of the week. I'm sitting here watching Oregon softball, a rare Monday morning game, Monday afternoon game, I guess, and the Ducks are leading Montana 3-0. After taking 2 out of 3 against the Beavers this past week. And let's go through how it happened. The series got off to a really odd start with a rainout on Friday. The Ducks were traveled all the way up there, ready to play, rainout, and you got to reset and get ready to play 2 on Saturday. And the Ducks were ready to play in Game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday, and they get it started with a 10-4 win over the rivals. 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Ducks. Just a really solid game. Kedra Lushar went 3 for 4 with a triple. She drove in 2. She also threw out a runner at third. She stole a base, and Allie Bunker led the way. Career high, tied for a career high. 4 hits for Allie Bunker in Game 1. 4 for 4, drove in 4, and really was a spark for the Ducks in that Game 1 win. As a team, Oregon went on to steal 8 bases in Game 1. That was just one shy of a school record of 9 that they set last season when they played at BYU. So an offensive explosion. You could see the Beavers' defense not very good. And I'm not just saying that because I don't like the Beavers. 4 errors? That's not going to get it done. In Game 2, a lot more competitive, but the Ducks did sweep the doubleheader with a 2-0 win. The Beavers out-hit Oregon in Game 2, 4-1. How about that? The Ducks score 2 on only 1 hit in Game 2. That was a season low for hits for the Ducks in the nightcap, but sometimes you rely on your offense, sometimes you have to rely on your pitching. And that's what the Ducks did. Exceptional pitching performances from Stevie Hansen and Reagan Breedlove to shut out the Beavers at Kelly Field. Hansen went 6 1/3 shutout innings before giving way to Breedlove, who shut the door and picked up the save in Game 2. The third inning, that's all the offense Oregon needed. Bird walked with 1 out. Sinicki was hit by a pitch. Infield single, Hannah Delgado. The only hit, an infield single. But the Ducks were opportunistic, scoring a run on a fielder's choice, and then Tara McGowan was walked with the bases loaded. 2-0 win for the Ducks. Notes from the doubleheader. Reagan Breedlove picked up a save in both of these games. Her saves were the 6th and 7th of her career. So Oregon won the series, and on Sunday they came back to Corvallis trying to go for the sweep, and it just didn't go their way. They lost 4-0. Again, the offense was just not there for the Ducks. Only 2 hits on Sunday. They also committed 2 errors in the field. Not the type of game that you want to let sit for a while. Unfortunately, the Ducks are back in action today, and it's still 3-0. Stevie Hansen is authoring a shutout against Montana at the Jane. So we'll keep an eye on that game. I'll keep you posted as the hour progresses. But it wasn't just Oregon softball in action this weekend. Great stuff from women's golf, and specifically Cynthia Liu at Augusta National in one of the premier amateur tournaments around. Top 5 finish for Cynthia Liu at Augusta National. She advanced to the top 30 round on Saturday and shot 1 over par in the final round at Augusta, and finishes for a tie for 5th at 2 under par. Congratulations to Cynthia Liu. She was 3 over through 10 holes, but sometimes there's just that magic on the back 9 at Augusta, and she went 2 under the rest of the way, including back-to-back birdies on really challenging the 13th and 14th holes. Also, Brianna Chacon, she made the cut at Augusta. She didn't play her best on Saturday, but both of these Ducks, after missing the cut last year, went into the event, and their goal was to make the top 30. Both did, and Cynthia Liu went above and beyond to finish top 5 in one of the best amateur tournaments around. Now, it's a crazy schedule for those two because they had to fly all the way back to Napa, California. They joined the rest of the squad, and the squad is in action right now at the Silverado Showdown. A Monday morning starts the final regular season tournament as players try to refine their games before heading to Phoenix for the Pac-12 championships on April 17th through 19th. So they're currently on the course. Men's golf was also in action at the Goodwin at TPC Harding Park in San Francisco. And, well, the Ducks shot 8 over, 288 in the final round, and finished tied for 8th in the event. Aiden Kraft led the Ducks to the final round with an even par 70. Women's tennis was in action this weekend at Washington State, and the Ducks got a big win, 4-2 over Washington State. And, well, Oregon did what they had to do in the doubles action. They won 4 singles points, and the Ducks have earned their 5th win over their last 6 matches overall, and have started their conference slate 4-1 for the second time in 3 seasons. Congratulations to women's tennis. Thriller at Pape Field this weekend as well for women's lacrosse, and I thought that they were going to, much like Oregon baseball, come back and pick up a huge comeback victory, but ultimately a 15-14 loss in overtime at Pape Field. The Ducks trailed 12-9 going into the final frame before scoring 5 unanswered goals. Looked like they had it. They were up 14-12 with 6 minutes left. Credit Colorado, though, scoring with 2:30 left. And then again with just a minute left to knot the game at 14 and force overtime, which is a golden goal period. So whoever scores first wins it, and the Buffaloes' score came just over a minute into the contest. So the Ducks moved to 3-7 overall, 0-5 in the Pac-12, and that one I think is one that they feel slipped away after they've played so well to put themselves into position to win. Acro and Tumbling lost earlier this season to Baylor. They got another shot at the Bears on the road and just barely fell on the road. 278.520 to 274.990. You know, look, Baylor's really, really good. That's the number 1 team in the country. Oregon is number 2 in the country. Following a season-best performance at Matthew Knight Arena, the Ducks put together another strong performance against the Bears in consecutive meets, but the Bears undefeated for a reason, and they get the win in that one. There was also track this weekend, beach volleyball. We'll hit that later on in the show, but pretty successful weekend on the whole. Could have been a little bit better. I think lacrosse wanted to hold on to that one, but you know, it is what it is. Get a break. We'll come back. The rest of the show, we have more to recap And we also have some pro day interviews for Oregon football stars looking to go to the NFL. That's here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like Tundra. Go for a spin, enjoy some off-roading, or build your kids that treehouse you promised them. Hey, they deserve it.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends April 4th.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Now's the time to imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like Tundra. Go for a spin, enjoy some off-roading, or build your kids that treehouse you promised them. Hey, they deserve it.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends April 4th.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe, do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time, save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Back here inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Happy birthday, Tom. Thanks for tuning in. Deserves a shout out right there. Thanks for hanging out here on a Monday afternoon. A lot went on over the weekend, but I think it's a good time to look back at the Oregon Football Pro Day with the NFL Draft quickly approaching. Alex Forsythe had himself a great season to set himself up for hopefully an exciting draft day, and he had this to say after performing drills at the Pro Day.
What does a day like today mean to you and kind of your efforts to kind of get to where you want to go?
Yeah, I think it's huge just for the coaches and scouts to be able to see us, work out actually in person, not just, see us on film. Obviously, I had kind of a hamstring issue at the combine before the field drill, so I wasn't able to compete there, and then kind of tested it out today. Just decided to do position drills. Didn't really feel right. So I think for us that was huge for me, Ryan, TJ, and Saul, and the rest of the guys out there. But just for an O-line coach to be there and see us actually hitting the bags and running off the ball, I thought that was huge.
So between the combine and here, you feel like you have a full picture. You've been able to do everything, whether it was there or here.
Yeah.
Give them a full picture of.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to rely most on the film that I put on in the 2022 season and the interviews. I don't think I've ever been someone that's been good at running and jumping, but I can play football, so I'm confident in that, and I'm really excited for this process.
Did you go back to Arizona?
Yeah, I think I'm training here for probably 10, 11 days or so, just to be back here. They gave us a little bit of a break. We got some teams coming to work us out, and some meetings with other teams, so just got to be here at our college facility for that.
What was the interview process like? Was there any questions they gave you that caught you off guard?
No, I think I was pretty well prepared. I did a lot of my homework on the teams that I'd met with, and that I knew I was going to meet with, and then a lot of the informal interviews, you really have no idea. They'll just kind of come grab you. So just try to do all my research and especially study up on the playbook that we ran last year, just so I was refreshing myself on all the plays we were running, all the checks we had, all the calls. So that was huge for me.
You played so much football with Sala, with TJ, with Ryan.
Yeah.
What's it like to go through a day like today one more time with those guys in this building, all that?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's the culmination of all of our college careers. Officially kind of come to an end today. So I'm excited. I'm really blessed to have all them in my life, and us to be able to compete and push each other. We were kind of getting after it out there. Ryan and I were kind of shoving each other a little extra. But yeah, no, I think it's just great. I'm really proud of all those guys, and I can't wait to see where their careers go from here.
How many formals did you end up having?
I had 3 formals, and they tried to schedule a fourth. Another team tried to schedule another one, a fourth one that I was going to have, but we couldn't get it in time, so I just did it informal with them.
Gotcha. I'm guessing you kind of opened up with other top 30 interviews.
Yeah. We haven't, heard a lot. We got teams coming to visit us, and I got some meetings with teams coming up here, but not sure yet about top 30 visits, but obviously open to anybody.
You guys asked about player comps and stuff. I'm sure there's something on film by body size, but again, going back to the combine, asking all the other centers, you ever call a play?
Yeah.
Call the play, right?
Yeah.
The Remington Trophy winners. Never call the play.
Yeah.
Is there anyone at the league level that you're able to pass on this is something that only this guy has ever done, or something? Because that is just rare.
Yeah.
Anyone that anybody's passed on?
Yeah, I guess I'd have to know, it's kind of hard to tell on film if they have, changed plays or not. I think for me, I've always tried to model my game after Ryan Kelly for the Colts, just because, my first O-line coach here was Mario Cristobal, and he coached him at Alabama, so naturally I was watching a lot of film of Ryan. I've always really liked his game. I think he's a taller and longer center, just like myself, so he's someone who I know is really smart too. But yeah, no, to kind of go back to your original question, I don't know if anybody has, but I think that's where I kind of, I'm unique in that way, where I think I can dissect the defense and do all that stuff in between the ears.
When a team does play from outside their picking you, what is that moment going to be like? What is the emotions surrounding it?
I really hope and pray that happens. I think that'll be the culmination of, all the work that I've put in since I've been in elementary school, high school, middle school, college, everything. It'll definitely be an emotional moment, but hopefully that's just the beginning of, a long career. I just want to play football as long as I can. Obviously, would love to get drafted, but don't really care what round. I just want an opportunity to play.
Kind of 3+ years ago, we were asking Jake
who
places him, and you were certainly in line for it, but we haven't quite seen by way of center just yet. All right, we've seen Jackson go in a whole bunch.
Yeah.
That's the presumption, but who else do you think could be in the mix to possibly be the next center?
Yeah, I think, Jackson, Marcus Harper, I think both those guys, they're either one of them can play center at a high level, I think. Jackson's obviously more used to center, but I also think he's a really talented guard. He's just a good O-lineman. And then same thing with Marcus. Marcus had a lot of starting experience last year, so I could see them, sliding him to guard because he's a really bright kid and he understands the offense too a lot. So yeah, I could see either of those guys, and then I know they got a few transfers who I haven't really seen yet, but I'm assuming they'll give those guys a shot too. But they're going to be great either way. They're going to have a good O-line next year, I think.
Just how excited are you to watch? I know you and Jackson were really close. How excited are you just to watch him in the next year or two?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Just pretty pumped for him just to see how much he's grown, matured over the last 2 years. Being with him, he's just been like a sponge, just kind of learning from all the older guys, and I think that's been huge. That's the biggest piece of advice I'd give to, any freshman coming in is just be a sponge and just, understand that you don't know everything, and that you're there to learn. So he's done a great job with that, and so I'm really proud of him.
How much pride do you take, Alex, that again, when that group before you guys left, there was the thought of obviously hard to keep it down.
Yeah.
And it's got to have to be a step down. And all right, there's 2 top JUCO guys, and Pinay was supposed to be part of it. And he leads.
Yeah.
Okay, but ultimately, then 3 years worth of starters. This year led the country in fewest sacks allowed.
Yep.
You're calling touchdown plays.
Yeah.
And the quote-unquote ragtag bunch has had 3 combine invites. And Walk just had a pretty good showing.
Great showing. He did his thing.
That you guys have done what you did.
Yeah.
It was how could they replace?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, we take a lot of pride in that because we knew that, regardless of how good we were, how good we knew we were, the people on the outside didn't know. But we really had to work. We obviously, our last year was most successful for all of us as a unit. And, I think it just took a long time for us to, get to that point. It didn't just show up. I mean, we started in 2020 and 2021, and we were good then, I thought. But I think this year we really took it, or this past year we took it up to the next level. But yeah, I think it's a huge honor to have to kind of be not compared to those guys, but kind of now there's going to be a next O-line under us, and people are kind of questioning how are they going to be. So to kind of be in that same conversation, that's huge, because guys like Shane and Jake, they were kind of like big brothers to me. But yeah, so I'm really excited and proud of all the guys that made us good on Saturdays.
You know that Ryan had a 31-inch vertical and that kind of broad jumping in?
Yeah, he's always been, when we do our fourth quarter program stuff during the winter, he's always been like a really good athlete. So I always knew that he could do that. I still don't think he can dunk, which I know I can dunk just because I got long arms. But no, so I kind of flick him some crap for that. No, he's a great athlete. I think he probably ran probably pretty close to a 5-flat 40, or maybe even a little bit under that. He looked like he was rolling. So he's a great athlete and a really good human being, and someone who I consider a brother. So I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, there's Oregon center Alex Forsyth. The coaches decided he was a first-team all-conference center. Played 12 of 13 games, missing one due to an injury. But if you're drafting Alex Forsyth, you're getting more than the player. You're getting a leader. You're getting somebody who was a runner-up or a finalist for the Jason Witten Collegiate Man of the Year. That's somebody that I would want to take a chance on. Alex Forsyth at his pro day. A break, and then we go to one of the other well-spoken members of the 2022 Oregon football team, Bennett Williams, after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Welcome back to Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio. Quickly, just wanted to give a shout-out to Jada Ross, who picked up a win at the Stanford Invitational in the shot put, and Harper McLean, who added her name to the UO Top 10 list in the steeplechase as well. Bennett Williams, getting ready for the NFL draft, performed at Pro Day, had this to say.
I mean, obviously the biggest thing for me was the 40, and so I think teams definitely wanted to see if, I had the speed, I guess. I think I got a decent start. and that was good. Not sure what the official time was still. Feel like even there's still some room to improve in terms of speed, and like gonna keep training and trying to get faster. But I think that was the biggest thing for me. I think I looked smooth in the drills, felt like it in the DB drills, and I think they wanted to see that too. And just show a little bit of athleticism. I think I did that. So.
How excited are you for your brother to be playing here?
Oh yeah, that's exciting. Talking to him a lot. I've come up here a few times just since he's enrolled, and I think he's liking it a lot. Coaches are loving him. I'm excited for him to be on a little bit of a bigger stage and be able to come in and play. And I know he's going to love this team. Already does, just the way that they can connect, love the coaches, and just the whole atmosphere. I think he's going to really, really enjoy it. I'm happy for him, really happy for him, and I'm excited for a big year for him.
What kind of strengths do you think he kind of brings to this specific team scheme?
Yeah, he comes in with a lot of experience already, real smart player that you can, plug and play in a couple different positions. Hard worker and a leader type of guy that, I think earned his respect pretty quickly by working, and then, just a real heady guy, real smart, so he can control things from the back end. I think that helps a lot with, Coach Lanning and Coach Lapoy, what they want to do with this defense. Gives them a little more, freedom to call some different stuff and put in different schemes.
What do these next few weeks look like? Do you have visits lined up with teams?
Nothing lined up right now. Been talking to some scouts and coaches, trying to get some visits lined up, but nothing scheduled as of now. Just going to be home training. So where I was training before, it was like 10 minutes from the house, so it was a good spot. Going to go back there and keep training. But like I said, it's out of my hands now, and it feels good to be in that position. And then we'll see, come draft day, what happens. So,
how many informals did you have during the All-Star process?
We'll get them out. Up near 20 of the teams. Yeah, right around 20. And we got a good list of, like 12 to 15 teams that are really interested. So it was good to talk to a bunch of teams, and I feel like that's a big strength of mine, is being able to get in front of those guys and let them hear me, speak and be genuine and be honest about, whatever it is. I think that only helps me, so that was good.
I don't know if you saw from the combine, but Kincaid said you were one of the best DBs he played, which having 2 picks helps.
Yeah.
That's something. But when you're getting from a top 5 tight end in this draft saying that, and what does that mean to you? What do you hope to, get across from either these informals and these meetings, or a top 30 visit or anything like that to teams, that what you can do against tight ends in particular?
Yeah, that's great to hear. I didn't know that. Felt like I had a good showing that game for sure. And that's something I think is a strength of mine, is being able to guard, tight ends, and then be able to guard, slot receivers. Obviously, get Tyreek Hill in the slot, it might be a little bit of a challenge, but that versatility I think is a big strength of mine. And then, to have the respect from a guy like Kincaid is pretty cool. But like I said earlier, I think just being in front of, did what I did on the field, and I think the film shows a lot that I'm a football player. But being able to add that personality piece and be able to give them the whole picture of who I am and who I can be in the locker room, and as an addition to the team, I think is only going to help boost my stock. So,
as your time at Oregon and your time playing college football comes to a close, was it everything you hoped to be?
Yeah, I say this a lot, but there's obviously stuff I wish I could have back, or wish went differently. What comes to mind is the Washington game, but it was all for a reason. It set up how I played against Utah. It's just there's everything here was the way that it was supposed to be, and that's not really something that I can control my fate. So I feel like it all worked out how it was supposed to. I learned so much from being here. Loved my time here, loved the relationships I got to make. Even just coming back, I was sitting in the lobby, yesterday, and I'm like, wow, like, kind of want to play another year. Like, see if I got any more eligibility somewhere. But, this place is just special, so I had a really good time.
From your perspective, when you were one of the leaders of the defense, you called a lot of stuff from back there, either as deep safety or nickel. Just why was it that, it's not even one individual's thing, but just why wouldn't the defense just be able to put up better results as a whole when you're here, when Noah's here, when the combine guy, when Gonzo did what he did? Just why wasn't it just able to fully come together last year?
That's a good question. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint, but to me, like, it was a first year, right? First year under whole new coaching staff. Pretty much whole new strength staff. Like, there's definitely some learning curve and some growing pains. We had definitely some talent back there, but especially with the scheme like that we ran, it takes more than just a quick off season and a year to get it really going, especially how complicated that thing is. So once that's why I'm really excited to see the next couple years, because you got talent that's going to keep coming in and out, but the comfortability with the defense that all the guys are going to have, and then you start playing fast and you start not even thinking about it, and that's when you get a defense that's just swarming all over the field, plus you add the talent, and you'll see. I think the next few years are going to be really special.
That part of 3 coordinators in 3 years and learning to have to speak Tosh, so I've heard there's a separate language.
Yeah, it's different. And for me, I've had 6 different position coaches in 6 years, right? So I'm adaptable, I guess you could say. Been able to a lot of different coaching styles, been able to learn a lot of different schemes. So it was a transition, but for me, I kind of feel like I thrive under that, being able to get thrown in the fire and pick stuff up quickly. So for me, I felt like I got the defense down pretty well, played well last year under it. But as a whole, you got to get everybody on that same page, and just more time, really more time in the scheme is going to get it there. So,
is there anybody kind of in that sense who you're really excited to watch next year? Who you think you kind of look for?
There's a kid with the last name Williams. Oh man, I'm excited for BA Brian Anderson. I think obviously his athleticism and his abilities are definitely off the charts, and I think he's really finding that spark, that hunger to learn and get it all down and be fully into the whole football, like just pour himself into it, and I think he's kind of getting there. So he's one I'm really excited to watch. Bossa, I mean, he's just a leader, but I think that he's just developing. He works so hard, and he's going to keep developing whatever position they ask him to play. I think he's going to do that. And then Jamal Hill, really excited to see what he can do. Just the way he works. I think another one, Dante Manning, like, the sky's the limit for him. Still just kind of young, but he's getting there. And sometimes it takes just 1 year, and you see guys like make a crazy jump. So I'm excited to see what a lot of those guys can do. And then I think the D-line is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, Bennett Williams led the Ducks with a career-high 72 tackles last year, getting ready for the NFL Draft. Let's get a break, come back. Cafe Yum 2-minute drill to wrap it up after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Unused prescription opioid pain medicines can spell trouble. They can spell risk if taken by someone they weren't prescribed for, harm if accidentally taken by a child or pet, or overdose if they're not used as directed. Safely dispose of opioids before they can hurt your family. Find a drug take-back option such as medicine drop boxes. You may find these in your community at local pharmacies or police stations. Visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Back here on Duck Insider, Jordan Brenner inside the Country Financial Studio. Time now for the 2-minute drill brought to you by Cafe Yum. Restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington serving Northwest-inspired catering and takeout for your next gathering or meeting. Menus at cafeyum.com. Got to start with Jacob Walsh. Like I alluded to earlier on in the show, a good candidate for Pac-12 Player of the Week. And he gets the honor. The Ducks' first Pac-12 Player of the Week award winner since Gabe Matthews did it in 2021. And boy, he was deserving. 8 for 15, 3 home runs, 4 runs batted in, scored 5 runs, and slugged 1,200. At the Jane, Oregon has just taken a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning over Montana on their way to a bounce-back victory. Good show today. Beach volleyball, by the way, split a pair of matches on Friday afternoon at the Boise Classic. Scott Phillips, thank you. Mitchell Lee back in the studio, thank you. We're back tomorrow on Duck Insider for more. As always, everybody, go Ducks.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx.